Hello, welcome everybody to the album release party, the celebration of not just Spain by Chick Corea, which you have just hopefully come from watching and listening to, but also the release of Pale Blue Dot. So let's do the introductions. Hello there, Mr. Cochran. How you doing in Michigan?
Hello there, Mr. McAllister. I am doing great. How are you?
I'm fine. I mean, I'm a few hours ahead of you, today, and it's been an album release day. So, I must admit, I'm celebrating here.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating, but in a very positive way. What a day! And then, hello there, Mr. Zapala. How you doing?
Hello, Matthew. How's it going? Hello, Matthew. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Declan.
Hello, Matthew. How are the Matthews today?
Well, we're okay. We're all right.
Doing good. Day for celebration.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's wonderful to have you join us, Declan. It's really nice to have you on the show. It's the first time you've been on Duo Talk, not Gallery of Guitar, but the first time you've been on this with us.
Yeah, it certainly is, and very much look forward to a little natter this evening.
A little chat, yeah.
I've realised I'm drinking Pepsi though. I need to change that to something a little stiffer. So let me just sort that out, actually.
See, this is a benefit. I love the way Declan has everything just on hand there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like...
Wow, that was very handy.
I've got to live my live stream. I'm on Tiger beer. There we go, Tiger.
Oh, very nice. Well, I've got a few bubbles just to bring in this wonderful album. So, Matthew Cochran, what was it like? It's like giving birth. I'm just waiting for all the comments in the chat there saying it's absolutely not, But how did it feel for you? I mean, I was pretty nervous today, and then very excited with this album coming out.
Yeah. Well, you had a much longer day. You had a longer wait. When I woke up, the one thing that I will lose sleep over is everything going to work on the sort of back end. You know what I mean? So is the Spotify, iTunes, blah blah blah, is everything going to be live at the same time? Because we don't really have any control of that. That's all about the distributor. And so, that was the one thing I was nervous about. As far as the record, I mean, we've been living with that for a really long time. And that was, I was just dying to get it out there. And so I was awake for maybe a couple hours before I heard your melodious voice on the radio station that I tend to listen to every morning. Yeah, and so you were you were waking me up and with my favorite host Kate Patello, and yeah, it felt great man.
It's pretty cool hearing it on the radio, like hearing the album on the radio. There's something special about that moment, I think.
That was, I wasn't ready to hear the whole suite.
It was cool.
So yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah.
How long has this been in the pipeline? The album, the album concept.
I'm gonna say
album.
I'm gonna say about 18 months. I mean, it's the project that we've been working on really since we started talking about forming the duo. So right away, I think we were really wanting to do something that had a theme. It took us a little while to land on the theme, and then it took us a little while to build the repertoire out from what that concept was going to be. So I'm going to say probably soup to nuts. It took as long to make the album as it took to sort of form the duo and build out the rep.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a new saying. I've not heard that saying before, by the way. Soup to nuts.
Soup to nuts.
Soup to nuts. I don't think that one's heard very often over here in the UK.
Yeah. But I mean, I know it because I know Matthew. But the first time I heard you say it, I had to catch myself. I was like, soup to nuts. But subsequently in the US, I've heard lots of people say it. So I know it's not just like you, Matthew. I know it's actually like a real thing. Because I think half the stuff I come out with, people must be like, is that is that a real thing, or has he just made that up? Most of the time making it up.
I always assume you've made it up, and I don't. I never even look it up. I'm actually kind of honored that you bothered to look up a weird aphorism or something that was unique.
Yeah. Well, listen, for those of you who are watching out in the community, thank you all for joining us today. And I know from lots of the messages we've been getting and lots of the shares and tags all over Instagram and Facebook and the like, that a lot of people have been listening to Pale Blue Dot today since it went live on all the streaming services. And I know a lot of you were watching Matthew's real reimagining of Spain by Chick Corea, which is one of the main tracks on Pale Blue Dot album, and also it's the first video single, so a lot of you came from that premiere. So it would be great to hear from you in the chat what you were thinking of the piece, if you've been listening to the album. And just by way of introduction to Declan, if you don't know him, you should check him out. He's absolutely awesome, and he's all over YouTube, Twitch, streams all the time, and a fantastic guitar player who I've worked with in the past, and we've had him on the gallery as well, and also a contributing classical contributor, I should say, to Guitar Techniques magazine. So often you see Declan's wonderful arrangements and articles appearing in that magazine. So it's just great to have you with us, Declan.
It's a labour of love, certainly doing a monthly arrangement, having to decide on the tune, arrange it, then learn it, and then write some exercise, learn those, and then write an article about it at some point in the middle of all that, and then record a whole video of it in my home studio, all the while thinking about the next one as well. But the thing is though, it's a nice feeling to be knowing that you're kind of literally running yourself at kind of what you are pretty much capable of doing, essentially. Like, that idea of kind of being idle, thinking about what I should do as a creative. When you don't have that space and you're just doing the thing that you're able to do almost on someone else's watch, if you will. It's actually quite liberating. You do things that you didn't know you'd be able to do. And I was just saying before we started this that this particular month they just dropped the most recent issue of Guitar Techniques magazine, and in this particular issue, I actually did two different submissions. I did my arrangement of Alonso Madara's Fantasia X, and I
love that one.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Such a great tune.
Yeah.
I did that and a section on Matteo Mancuso, because he's a classical. He applies classical technique into electric guitar playing. So it's a whole kind of expose of him as a player from the classical perspective. But yeah, that was a double deadline. It's basically like being back at university, actually having a kind of like a magazine job. It's just a coursework due at the end of every month.
I love that comment that you make about working at the absolute kind of optimum level, like working at your, this is it. I don't have any more, and I don't have any less, but this is the level I have to work at to achieve all this stuff.
Yeah. That, like, when you don't have to when you only feel like I need to stop and just actually give myself. I need to give myself time. I need to schedule in time to spend not doing stuff, like just relaxing and decomposing a bit. It's a really strange experience getting into that mentality. I've been doing that magazine job for 3 years now, and it's been that every month. So it's a different state of mind. But yeah, it's been this thing, gigging and kind of fitting that in around gigging and teaching, and just kind of have these things like all slotting in around each other. It's cool. It's a cool
we know that feeling very well. We know that feeling very, very well.
I think you've had that feeling a bit longer than me, actually. Yeah.
Don't give away my age. Now I think we have another guest.
I meant it more in the
us.
sense you became more accomplished than me, but way sooner.
That's very kind. That was a good save, actually. There,
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Yeah. So I think we have another guest join us to come and say hi. Can I please add Mr. Matt Hensley?
Hey, you guys. How's it going?
How you doing?
3 Matts.
This is triple Matt. Yeah, this is dangerous.
It's so unawkward for me. It's like, oh God, what's his name again? No, they're all called Matthew. There's 3 Matts and a little guitarist guy. Yeah.
How's life in Austin, my friend?
Oh, life is good. Life is good. It's hot down here. I'm not going to lie, but that keeps us active for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, you guys! Holy cow! This is a huge accomplishment, and you must be thrilled.
You really are.
Hey, and it looks like Tony Landman is watching.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yep. I've
yeah.
been seeing him in the comments. I can't wait to. He's got a thing about Spain. I can't wait to take a crack at it here.
Oh yeah, you're right. Hold on, yeah, he does indeed. What's? Oh, this is Anthony. Yeah, Anthony Joseph Landman. Okay, Matt, this is for you. What possessed you to begin the Spain arrangement with the second movement of the Aranjuez Concerto? There you go.
I am very happy to say it wasn't my idea. It was actually, so if you go to the Return to Forever, the original recording, that I think it's the original recording that Spain shows up on. The Chick Corea version starts with exactly the quote from Aranjuez that we played. Now my thinking was, well, okay, if Chick is going to do a little bit of a reworking of it, he kind of did some reharmonizations at the very end of the second phrase. Oh, sorry, I'm already into the woods here, but
go.
But I liked it so much, and we needed something to sort of take the energy off. We start with that really beautiful sort of opening, and then we take off, right? Well, we need something to. You just can't go, and then you're going to hit a wall, I think. And so the only thing that I did to sort of change the form of the Chick Corea original was to stick the Aranjuez quote in the last little part before we play the head again. So yeah, that bizarre addition is, I think, part of the charm of the original tune.
It's great to bring it home to the guitar as well, you know.
Yeah, right.
It's our song. It's our
Yeah,
tune.
yeah. Claim it back. Yeah,
Claim it back. Yeah, exactly.
I also think I needed a bit of a break as well. I'm so glad you put it back in at the end, because I'm like, another 2 minutes of this? Okay, no, I can't let you know me. So it's like, gives you a minute to just take a break and then like set yourself for that last go at the head of the tune, you know, and then you can probably like, I think we always play the final like head of the tune a little quicker, definitely in gigs. It's like gives you like the sprint finish. Do you know what I mean? Like that little tiny moment where you can just, okay, and then I'll really go now. You know, it's good fun. Yeah. Oh my God. So Matt, if you had a chance to listen to the album,
not all the way through at this time, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm getting more excited by the moment here.
Well, the day is young, you know. So you know you've got time left. You've got time left. But
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm super inspired by. I was just in Spain, so this is.
Was that right?
That I've been thinking a lot about the territory of Spain and the way in which it has inspired so many people to write pieces. You know, the Castles of Spain, the Aranjuez, Granada. You know, you name it. I was just there with 15 kids playing, I think, 4 concerts in 4 cities. And, so much of the music we were playing was inspired by the places we were seeing. It was super cool.
Wow.
Wow. So what rich territory.
Well, I'm going to quote a song. I have never been to Spain. And I would really, really, really like to do exactly what you just described. In fact, I believe that one of the students that was with you came to the Interlochen Guitar Intensive.
Absolutely, Eleonora.
Last week. And so when you said you just came back from Spain, I was like, oh yeah, right. That's this whole thing. So yeah, very, very cool. That's a really quite an undertaking.
We didn't lose anybody.
Well, then it's a win.
We lost 0 people.
That's great.
Counting the heads on the bus, it's always good, you know.
That's
just
right.
to check.
That's right.
You know, you've not got an itinerant guitarist who's just wandered off and now lives in Andalusia for the rest of their lives. You know? It's like,
wouldn't be a bad thing.
It could be the start of a great story. Yeah.
But no, I'm just thrilled for you guys, and tell me more about the inspiration for the whole album, if that's okay. I mean, you guys are to educate me, give me a sense of what to expect.
Alrighty. Well, do you happy if I go for a bit, Matt, and then you can take over where I finish up, like, or
Yeah,
or run out of gas?
I'll clarify any lies that you
You can
tell.
fact check. It's like but you could actually fact check other than that, rather than that mess last night, So we've got the same thing going on here. It's just everybody's 65 years younger. So the whole concept behind the album, I mean, we were thinking about this today. We've only really been doing this guitar duo thing for a couple of years now. So we're relatively early, even just playing together and stuff like that. But obviously, Matt and I have known each other for a long time, playing in different ensembles, meeting at festivals, all sorts of stuff, talking about having the idea of playing together for a long time. But we kind of shared a kind of quite a few conversations, and especially one in Scotland a couple of years ago about Carl Sagan, about astronomy, about science fiction, which all linked to new repertoire, breaking new ground, not doing the same old thing time, again. But we weren't actually, in a sense, going let's do something completely new, because we were thinking about texts like the Pale Blue Dot text by Carl Sagan. There's Interstellar on there, the music from the Christopher Nolan movie, the Hans Zimmer soundtrack. We've got a suite of that music for 10-string and 6-string guitar. Pat Metheny, Ralph Towner, Matthew Cochran's own Pale Blue Dot. So it's all very contemporary repertoire, but it's all very accessible repertoire. And even with things like the Chick Corea, allows us to stretch the idea of arrangement as well, and the reimagination of these things. And it's maybe not music that, Spain you would associate with guitar, I guess, because of the Aranjuez quote and things like that. But organ and symphony orchestra from Interstellar, even the sound of Matt's composition, Pale Blue Dot, the harmonies are not standard harmonies that you would hear on a guitar. It's maybe almost a Keith Jarrett-esque or Brad Mehldau-esque sort of harmonization and sound. There's it doesn't sound like guitar music to me. So when he started writing stuff and sending it over, I was like, this is great, because it's not just, it doesn't sound like guitar music. It sounds just like music, and I was just so excited about it. So I guess that's that's my feelings on it. They're quite personal, I guess, but I'm sure Matt's got other things too,
Well, I think the fact that we decided to write around a theme or to arrange around a theme was for me the most enjoyable experience, because I think there are a lot of questions that you have to answer in order to make an album right now. I mean, we don't have the kind of infrastructure in place that used to be there. We don't have the same motivations in place that were there 30 years ago or 40 years ago to make an album. There's a different set of parameters around making an album right now. And so when we decided, okay, we're not going to do the thing that I have been doing actually for the last maybe 6 or 7 years, which is releasing sort of little things, little projects, like write a piece, record it, put it out there, we really wanted to make a statement. And from that, then I think for me, it's about age. I think we're sorry, Matthew.
No, I'm sure. I'm tightening my belt here.
No,
Tightening my belt.
I know, but it is true. There's something about kind of hitting middle age, and this sort of Carl Sagan zoom out kind of experience that I was thinking about a lot during the conversations that Matthew and I were having, and then kind of choosing the repertoire, finding the treatment of the repertoire, and then being able to write the original piece based around what was already there, felt very natural, felt very sort of fluid. You know what I mean? We'd have a conversation. I'd go write some stuff. We'd play around with different arrangement ideas, that sort of thing. It was really, I don't remember a collaborative process that was quite so fluid and easy. You know, it was all just really, really enjoyable. So the only thing that we did run into was runtime. We ran into some pretty substantial runtime difficulties because we had planned for about a 60 to 65 minute record, because why not? And there was a bunch of other music, but then we decided fairly recently that we were gonna we will put it out as a vinyl product.
Ooh.
And neither one of us had done the math about like a high quality, high resolution recording and the physical limitations of a vinyl side. So we had to pare down 65 or so minute set of pieces into 40. And I would say that was probably the biggest setback, artistic setback, that we ended up with. Would you agree with that, Matthew?
At the end of the day, do you think that was a good process? I mean, sometimes like with writing words and stuff, a lot of times it's in the paring down that you end up with kind of the more polished jewel at the end.
Down the essence of it all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
Well, I think it makes you. If you hear any meowing, it's because the cat has joined the stream. By the way, so just like this is a really special guest. Look, here we are. You know.
Adorable.
If you want to talk about time travel, this cat is 19 years old. So this is an amazing cat. You know, and probably interstellar in some way, shape, or form.
A cat version of Dorian Gray up in the attic there as well.
Yeah, exactly. But she's just made her debut, and actually she's got fans. Look, they're already here. Like, it's High Red, cat's called Red. So there you go. They're already here. Well, yeah. I mean, just what came in the chat there, which was kind of maybe answering your question on our behalf there, Matt. Like, you know, Anthony just saying. Learning you only have 22 minutes per side is sobering. I've never tried that as a hangover cure, but that's good advice there. I thought you were just supposed to eat onions and lie down in a dark room, but that's fine. You know, I'll give that a go tomorrow morning. But I think it's sharp focus. That's what it did, and it made us kind of, you know, you cut out the fluff, and it's not that any of the repertoire that we had decided to put on initially was fluff. But I think what it was maybe superfluous to the theme. So it was making too many branches. It was just starting to get a little bit diluted, you know, and we were maybe having to jump a little bit in terms of like the narrative to make sure everything really sat next to each other really well. But when we had that, you know, 22 minutes per side, not wanting to lose any quality, you know, because obviously the longer you make the vinyl, actually the grooves are different, and that you can get nearer to the center and further away to the end of the disc, and the quality is different. And obviously, I mean, I didn't realize this. I thought 2024, surely they've made vinyls that last for a day. Do you know what I mean? But there is just a natural physical limitation. You can't change the laws of physics. So we just had to sort of stick with it. And I think it did us a great service, actually, just like Anthony suggests, and yourself, Matt, because it just made the decision for us. We just knew then what to do other things with, what repertoire to save for concerts or to do something else with.
So cool. Well, congratulations, gentlemen. I'm going to sign off over here in Austin, but it's incredible to see you and offer a cheer here from the state of Texas.
Hey. Well, we appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, Matt.
Nice to meet you, Declan. Bravo.
Take care.
Bravo. Can't wait to experience this whole thing.
Cheers, Matt.
Looking forward
Thank you very much.
Hearing what you think about it.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care.
So Matt
Guys,
sorry, go on, Declan.
Because you've gone through like quite a bespoke process for album creation, obviously having to distill it all down. But the fact you're doing like a concept album out as it has to be an album in the age of singles and, you know, short form content that gets consumed in just as that is, you know, not as part of any kind of grander arc than just short form stuff. Do you think that this is going to be like? Do you think you're going to see much more of this? Do you think it's just going to be one-offs, or do you think there might be a trend? Because you must have thought about this quite a lot, really, because this has been your real bread and butter for the last 18 months, really, doing a concept album.
Absolutely. Well,
Do you see much more for this for young artists, and
I
do you
hope
see the
so.
future with this?
I hope so. I mean, for I would say self-serving purposes, I very much hope so, because this is the first album on a record company that I am forming, called Sacred Black Records, and the idea is to build out projects like this that not necessarily concept albums. I mean, our decision to make a sort of concept album is sort of a throwback to the 1960s type concept albums that that I think both Matthew and I really, really love. But rather to make albums that have a cohesive theme, that highlight the works of composers who maybe aren't getting the kind of attention that they deserve. Yes, I think it's important. I think that we have two different motivations right now in the general sort of listener base, and in classical music. I can't really speak for other forms, but there's I would say the kind of like lifestyle type listening, that certainly that I do, and I think a large portion of the classical music listener base does. Pretty music, or music that sort of fits a mood, that can be the soundtrack to your life. That music on a streaming service is most likely going to be, it's not really going to be associated with one particular composer or one particular instrumentation. It's just music that sort of makes your life sound pleasant as you're washing dishes or going about your day. I use this all the time, and sometimes, rarely, but sometimes it leads to musical discovery. On the other hand, the type of listening that I really like to do is the slow down, stop everything that you're doing, sit and listen to something that was well made, that was intentionally made, that was made with the highest quality components that you possibly can, and listen to it with intention. And we're seeing, I think, a sort of groundswell of people who are wanting to return to that kind of. We had it, and we lost it.
I got like a feeling of nostalgia, like just listening to what you're saying there. That is literally how I feel, and it's like a part of ourselves that we've kind of just lost track of almost. There's just like when we turned 14, and we're just like, well, for me, turning 14 was getting into Nirvana. A little bit after Nirvana was Nirvana, but just literally just sitting with the headphones, just listening to whole albums, just losing hours and hours, just sitting listening to music because for the love of it and for the enjoyment that just traveling somewhere with just music, it's still there. I think it's great to sort of have that kind of pushing for being a champion for that kind of thing, to educate younger people into this is actually a thing you can do that can really kind of change the experience of consuming music.
You're not passively listening, you're actively listening, and learn, and I think that's the difference. Now, I think this is a great moment to bring in another special guest. I mean, that's what we're doing this evening, is we're just bringing in people who we love, and we are great supporters of our album, of this channel, of Duo Talk, of everything. And we have a real cheerleader for Pale Blue Dot and for the Duo coming on right now. We have the wonderful Miss Kate Botello.
Oh my word.
Greetings.
Hey, Kate.
Muscle Tough. I'm so happy to be here. I just have to jump in right now and say I love that you're talking about this active listening bit, because Cochran can attest to the fact that I have this thing about telling people to lay down in whatever their comfortable spot is. Bathtub, couch, I don't care. put on headphones and listen to all of Interstellar without moving a muscle. It is the coolest. And I have told more than one person to do this. And I did this with a friend recently who was like, do it again. So, I mean,
yeah. We call it mindfulness now, don't we? That's what we
we're creating an opportunity. You are creating an opportunity.
With OG mindfulness people.
Yeah.
But I loved what you were saying, and both of you, Matt and Declan, about like, you know, the intent. You think you used the word intent, Matt, yeah, like intentional listening, you know, and I'm saying active listening, I guess. But like also what Declan was sort of saying, which was like Nirvana, being 14 and hearing that album and getting like the headphones on and listening to the thing until like, you know, you're not talking about like the words or the notes, you like know the squeaks on the string, you know, like the one hi-hat's a little bit louder than the other one. You're just so obsessed, you know. And I think like I didn't have that experience after, let's say, maybe that period, like maybe from maybe 12 through to like 16, 17. I didn't have it for a while. There was, you know, I just saw Inside Out too, by the way, last night with Eleanor and Martha. So basically, like I'm on this total like, you know, I understand now adolescence, looking back on it and all this sort of stuff. So now I know why we haven't done this, you know, but we all need to go back and do what Declan said, like sit there and listen to this stuff and believe every minute. But it's like, I wonder about I did it once in college, actually, like where a composer was like, can we just like literally all shut up and put the lights off and listen to this thing as closely as possible? And it was really like, it's amazing how heightened your ears become and your brain, the senses, you know, it's fantastic. So I'm up for you championing it, Matt, if it's something that you can get into the new record label's ethos in some way, shape or form, it would be great. Well, you know,
I have authority over exactly one. And which currently has one release, but the next one's coming out in a very, very short period of time. So yes, I will absolutely champion it. And truth be told, I just kind of never graduated out of that listen to Nirvana with the lights off kind of thing. To me, it's it's one of the great joys of music making and of music listening. So and Kate and Matthew, you pulled a wonderful surprise this morning by airing all of the Pale Blue Dot suite. I didn't know that was I didn't know what you were gonna play, and so when I heard that, I was floored. I had to like plop down on a couch and just take it in. Wow, what a gift! Thank you.
You're so welcome. I have to tell you, it was Dr. Sewell's idea. Amanda Sewell thought of this. It's the 9 o'clock hour. It's the stretch hour, so we can take our time and play something long and big if we want to. And yes, the first time I heard all of Pale Blue Dot, I did in fact just listen to the entire album without moving a muscle, and it is really quite an experience. But yeah, I'm so happy that our listeners got to do that. And you know, some of them are driving, but some of them might have just sat right down and dunked their head in the water with that, and I hope they did.
That's it. And I mean, you know, there's a great comment just come in, and I think it speaks to all of this. It's from Oliver Chen, who is one of Matt's guitar students and a great young player, and actually took second place in the competition really recently here on Gallery Guitar. So Oliver, welcome. I'm glad you're listening. And it's great to hear Oliver writing this, because, you know, he's exactly the generation that, in a sense, like Declan was saying, like, you know, maybe be a cheerleader for this sort of thing so that people can listen to it. And he says there's so much content to consume everywhere that it's difficult to take a step back and listen with intention on anything. And that's it. That's absolutely it. I wonder, like, if there's scope to begin a record club, you know, like a listening club, the listening hour. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Pick a really good album like The Wall or something that's really good to listen to all the way through.
Yeah. Imagine every radio station having a dedicated hour for a whole album just to be played through. Like every radio station just doing that as a thing.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, no interruptions. Wow. Yeah, as it was intended.
Yeah.
Because like I guess this is a concept album that we've released, but you can't. I mean, and you could just jump in on a track and it would be fine. I mean, that would be enjoyable. That's the way certainly streaming's pushed us these days. But actually, we would love people to, when they listen to it, go from start to finish if they can. And we obviously understand that that's not the practicalities of everyday life. Like, you know, things happen, but you know.
Yeah, but you put a lot of thought. Yeah, you put a lot of thought into that order, though.
Mm-hmm,
You really did, you know. So I think that is something to consider in listening to albums. I think they are more carefully now, again, being put together start to finish. I think that is an art form. I know how much you struggled over where every single piece went.
Yeah.
In that record, you know. So, yeah. I just quickly, I want to say thank you to both of you for letting IPR kind of behind the scenes from the very beginning of this, when you first just started talking about this album, all the way through hanging out with you exhausted on Thanksgiving Day and playing Interstellar for you for the first time. It has been a really wonderful experience for me and for all of our listeners just to go through this whole journey with you. So on behalf of all of us, congratulations on reaching this today. It's just huge.
Oh, well, I mean, right back at you. I mean, having multiple sets of ears to bounce things off of, you know, like having you come to the barn and hear some of the stuff that we were recording while we were recording it, and being able to sort of see your reaction and get your insights. I mean, you know, you, Kate, very much, and really everyone at IPR. I mean, they are a de facto producer of this record in a very big way, and it's a huge honor for us. So thank you for being so supportive, and thank you for your musical and otherwise friendship.
Yeah, that's really lovely, Matt. I would just second that, and also just to say that I don't know if as many, I don't know if that's a thing that you see so much these days, is like, you know, a radio station like IPR taking such time to sort of help cultivate what we're doing as well. I mean, that's probably what record companies used to do in a sense. Like, you know, they used to give seed money, they used to give tour budgets, there used to be all this kind of like, you know, let's say investment in infrastructure, investment in the group, on the ensemble. Now it's like, well, if they've got a following on TikTok, we'll put out their stuff. You know, it's like you have to prove it, right, you know, in some terrible domain first before anybody gets a chance to sort of share their stuff. So I think what IPR have done, certainly for us, is just so refreshing, because it becomes, it really helps us get closer to an audience as well. So we sort of start to think about how the music's going to be consumed as we're doing it, rather than sort of thinking of that first and foremost like a commercial, you know, it has to be a commercial success in 60 seconds, which is the vibe these days, you know.
Yeah. Well, another way that we can get real-time feedback is having conversations like this. And I'm looking at these comments, and there's just like, it's pretty overwhelming, honestly.
Oh yeah, there's a lovely one here. This is a friend, a lutenist, well, a guitarist and a lutenist, Jamie Akers, living in London. Congratulations on the album, beautiful sound, great location, stunning performances. Looks like I'm going to have to buy a record player. Best of luck with it. Well, Jamie, I know how many guitars and lutes and theorbos and stuff he's got in his house, so if he can get a record player in there, I'd be very impressed. And actually, speaking of Jamie, for those of you watching the channel and watching the live stream, Jamie is going to come on Gallery Guitar, and he's playing a two-necked guitar, and he's playing all this lovely old music on this crazy instrument that he found somewhere, that like he only knows how to play. Like one of those things, like, you know. And that'll be out, I'm sure, in a few weeks. But Jamie, thanks very much for having a listen to the album, and we really appreciate comments like the sound and the performances. That's what we were aiming for the whole way through, you know. But it's so good. So let me think. So Kate, you're in Michigan. Matthew, you're in Michigan. We just had a guest in from Texas, which was lovely, and Matt Hensley. Declan, where are you right now in the world?
Where am I?
Yeah.
I'm in a room. Can't you tell? I am on a ship floating around the coast of Iceland, actually.
Wow.
So I'm coming to you via Elon Musk's Papa Elon's Starlink. So yeah, the world we live in. I'm not on land at the moment. I'm floating around. I'm on gigs. Gig duty.
You're on gig duty and you're nearly in Iceland. That's incredible. Well, actually, you've got probably one of the strongest Wi-Fi signals I've ever seen for someone on a boat or anywhere.
It's ridiculous. It's like 150 meg download, upload, like whilst literally floating, whilst moving, which is the strange thing. It's just don't quite know how they've done it. I think there's some kind of voodoo or something going on. So, Wi-Fi voodoo.
Yeah, well, it's just like when you phone your own broadband provider and you're like, why is it going down? But we can at least say, well, I know a guy that was on his way to Iceland and he had the best connection in the world, so sort it out, basically.
I used to really get frustrated when I had no phone signal at the top of Watford High Street for many years. Yeah, I'd always have better signal whilst literally with nothing but ocean all the way to the horizon. So yeah,
somebody's going to tell me. Okay. Yeah, no. Somebody's going to tell me that the signal bounces better off the water. Like, that's the classic thing. Like, I know. It's like, well, actually, sound does travel, doesn't it? Sound wave travels well over water. Now I know this spookily because where I used to run classical guitar retreat on the island of Cumbrae, if the bagpiper was busking in the town centre of Largs, which is on the mainland, and if it wasn't too choppy on the Clyde, on the estuary at the mouth of the river, you could hear every note because it just went straight over the top of it. In fairness, that he was one of the loudest and ugliest bagpipe players of all time. So do you know what I mean? You probably could have heard him on a different planet, to be honest. But it travels far for sure. Declan, I am fascinated by that thing that you've got behind you holding your guitars. What is that you've got behind your left shoulder there?
It's a big it's a military grade aluminium guitar case. It's like it's made of stone or something, but this is how I travel. I've been traveling with my guitars for the last 12-13 years by having my two guitars in a case in the hold. I don't actually take my guitar on the plane with me, and as handled.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's this is how I travel. Custom foam things that hold everything in place.
And you check that. You just put that underneath the airplane, no problem, no questions asked.
It doesn't cost anything extra to do it. You just hand it over to the oversized baggage. You just a special little bit for it, and that's literally the end of it. You just check it in like normal luggage. I figured it out 13 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. But yeah, I keep telling people, you can just check it like normal luggage. It's fine.
I mean, and so how many guitars have you had destroyed, Declan?
Yeah, 29. No, I've never.
What a year.
Every flight. No, I've never had any. I've never had a single touch wood. I've never had a single guitar be damaged in any way on a flight.
Having put it on the overhead many times, you've got me beat by exactly one.
Really?
So I'm looking at
Wow.
Delta.
That's. I think there's the tricky thing is when you've got one guitar and the shape of a guitar case. It doesn't matter. I feel like it doesn't matter what that guitar case is made of. When you've got a long bit to a shape, that is like a structurally compromised shape. Essentially, it doesn't really matter what you make it out of. So there's a slight amount of bend. If you've got like a bit of force on either side of that, it's enough just to bend what's going on inside, enough to snap the neck a bit. So but when you've got literally kind of a box shape that is just, if you can be bothered to wheel a giant box around, then you don't need to. It just takes the stress of flying out. So
pretty convincing. That is a pretty convincing argument.
I'll send you some links. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be happy to hear from you.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ring off a congratulations. Felicidades a todos. It's just a wonderful piece of art, and congrats to you. Wonderful.
Kate, we love you. Thank you for jumping on.
Nice to meet you, Kate.
I'll catch you, dear hearts. Take care.
Thanks very much. See you, Kate. Bye for now. Bye for now. I should say, as Kate jumps off there, the most amazing. There's been lots of different bits of merchandise appearing today, including these lovely postcards featuring the lovely artwork of the album, which are going to be at gigs and things soon. Yeah. But also
cool design.
Cookies. What?
Cookies.
What are you talking about? Cookies.
Cookies with the pale blue dot album cover on them. Cookies.
This
Cookies,
is
people.
news to me, my friends. I don't know
Nah.
anything about a pale blue dot cookie. All
A
right,
pale blue dot cookie.
explain
Consumable
yourself.
merchandise.
Pale blue
That's
dot
the thing
cookies have
now.
arrived at this house today in Ireland, and I'm pretty sure they have come via Miss Kate Botello. I'm pretty
Is
sure.
it now a pale
Look.
blue dot mukbang stream now.
I don't know if that's gonna take the focus on. Oh, it is. Look at that. Yeah,
That's legit. Oh my god.
that is
Oh my word!
absolutely legit,
That's cool.
gentlemen.
That's cool.
Legit,
That's
legit.
extremely cool.
That's a pale blue dot cookie. Now, some people have merchandise and some people have merchandise, but this is edible.
Yeah. This is. I think the big question is going to be.
It's an
that's what
edible
everyone wants to
cookie.
know.
It's an edible cookie. It tastes amazing. Now, Germany. Germany's on the stream. Look at this. Here we go.
Hey!
Nicholas Bowman, Katrin Klingenberg, and Chile, Sebastian Montes. Hey guys, how you doing?
Fine.
Hi,
Nice to
guys.
see you.
How's it going? Hi, Nicholas. Dual K.
Oh,
Cheers to
it's
you
lovely
guys.
to see you. Are you all well?
Yes, looking
Yes.
forward to see you in November in Germany.
Oh, it's going to be
But
great.
yes.
You
both.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we're going to have an album.
yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations on your new album.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Sebastian.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Congrats also from me.
Thank you, Nico.
Hey, Nico.
Hey,
What
hey.
a night.
How are you doing, Nico? Are you in Berlin, Nico?
No, I'm in Göttingen, which is like.
Oh,
Do you know
Doesn't
Göttingen?
no.
That's more in the middle, let's say. Where's
I lived for half a year in Göttingen. Very nice town.
Really?
Ah,
Yeah.
Why? Okay.
I was learning German there when I came
Oh,
to
right,
Germany.
okay. Okay.
Goethe Institute. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm here for the weekend, just like last weekend, to film a contemporary
Ah, okay.
music classical festival,
Ah.
which is going to end tomorrow with a live DJ set and stuff like that. So it's like a little bit interdisciplinary and intergenre. With
Wow.
the symphony orchestra from here, and somebody organized it who did an amazing job. It's called Horizons, and yeah, we're gonna me and a colleague. I have this thing called Soundwerk with. We are shooting the after movie for that.
Cool.
And today was
Very
like a living room concert, and that just ended half an hour ago. And man, filming festivals, I don't know. There's just so much going on and no time.
Oh man, well, you look very well. You look very healthy from it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you
Like-
look unusually relaxed for what you just described.
Ah, missed that.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for being able to drop in, Nico. It's so cool to see you. It's so good to see you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Matt, is that your new place?
This is my new place. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you settle in?
Nicely so far. It's not been long. I mean, trying to like move, release an album, blah blah blah, do everything in the one. You know, I always plan things to all happen at the same time. So it's crazy. Totally insane. But but I have cookies, so it's okay.
I saw that. Yeah, when I was backstage, I already saw that. And please spare some.
It makes I will do. I'm going to keep them forever.
To all
And
your
Seba-
guests, like in 10 years from now, here, have some old cookies. They have my album on.
Yeah, exactly. Going platinum.
Do you have Matt, also a special room for the gallery now in your new place? Like
So
before?
I haven't figured that out just yet. That's the next challenge, is to find a space, which I think is going to be either two things. Either it's going to be just a studio, like a standalone studio, or, crossing fingers, an actual, like a venue. Maybe somewhere where people can come, maybe can have concerts, maybe students can have lessons, maybe it's like got some option for something like coffee and things like this. So this is kind of the idea, but that's a big idea.
What about
I
that
like
thing
big
where we
ideas.
shot the
If you
video?
build it,
Oh, I'm so
Exactly, Declan. If you build it, they will come. Exactly.
There you go.
Well, I was
Yeah.
actually going to suggest to do what Declan does and host it on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
maybe we're missing an opportunity.
Hello from
there.
Iceland, by the way. I'm just floating around Iceland at the moment.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so that's kind of the plan. So I don't know, maybe there's a lot of like really old like industrial buildings, like old linen mills and old kind of things like that. And there's a lot of artist cooperatives and stuff in Belfast. So there's lots of potential for like studio space. There's a lot of photography studios. There's a lot of art studios. So maybe something like that, or a venue. I don't know.
Yeah, Matt, what about that place where we shot the video, the Bagatelle?
That would be amazing, but I don't think I'd get allowed in, like, you know, all the time. We shot a video here, and it was the most crazy room. Like I don't even know how to describe it.
No, I don't know I don't even know what the word is for the thing the floors were made of. What's that? A grid. It was
A grid,
basic
yeah.
room
Yeah,
with 3 levels, but everything was a grid, so you could see
Yeah.
through from top level to
Yeah.
the basement, basically.
yeah. So you
And
felt
that-
suspended.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was scary, but it was very cool. But yeah, I don't think I'll get to use that for a guitar gallery, unfortunately. Yeah, it's like
have you
one.
been to any gigs in the Crescent Arts Centre, the Cube?
Yeah. A few
Like,
times. Yeah.
Because I've played in there a couple of times. The bass end in there is strange. It's like the
Yeah.
tightest. Like it's like a bass anechoic chamber, an anechoic chamber just for the bass, because it's just so tight in there. I've never experienced anything like it before. It's very, very cool venue.
I think it was kind of refurbished quite recently, so I think it's quite slick now as well. But that would be
Yeah.
the kind of place. But part of me is thinking like have a gallery of guitar that's like everyone can come and play. Do you know what I mean? So like, you know, if you're coming through town, Declan, you can play. Sebastian, Catherine, you can come and do a concert. We can have like some food and some drinks. We can have the audience in. Like I'm just trying to think of like, I love this place that ran for years in Holland, the Guitar Salon. And it was like this. It was like this kind of venue, but it was still a house. But it was a venue. It's something like I think you guys are trying to do in your place, Catherine. No, something like this.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. I like these things for guitar because guitar's not a piano. You know, it's like I think salon concerts are good. Yeah. My gosh,
So,
look at all you.
What did you guys? Because I missed everything. Like I wasn't even able to catch up on watching the release.
It was amazing.
Obviously.
It was amazing, flawless, incredible.
and then like, what are we doing right now? Are we streaming to the outside world? Is it us?
Yeah,
Is it,
yeah. So mind your language. Keep your clothes on.
shh.
No bad language, or the algorithm will find us.
Oh yeah. That's too late for that, my friend.
Yeah, no. So we had a premiere just before we started the live stream of Spain, which was like a video single from the album, and then all day today, the album has been across all the streaming services. So it got released today, so it's out there for everybody to listen to and enjoy.
That much I understood. How was the Spain video release?
Good. Yeah. It's like the one track on the album that I think, I don't know what you think, Matt, but it's maybe the most traditional track on the album, even though it's kind of chick Corea and stuff like that. It's maybe the most straight ahead track.
Yeah.
So the second single will be like Hans Zimmer and all this kind of stuff and more contemporary, but the it sounds like Spain, if you know what I mean. Like yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch that right after this.
Great.
Thank you.
No, that was literally the first thing that I did. I ran in, opened the laptop, and because I wasn't sure how long you guys are partying and stuff.
Well, we waited for you. We waited for you.
Yep.
As always. And what's happening with you guys, Sebastian and Katrin? What's happening with you? When's your next concert? What are you up to?
We, we,
In about 2 weeks. We're on a festival in Germany, and after that we go to Chile for 3 weeks, having vacations, visiting family.
Nice.
Great.
Nice. Lovely.
the idea of the vacation. I'm always organizing concerts there, and then
I love that. The life of a musician, it's vacation concerts.
no, I told you, I don't like that we play, but we have to play.
And I'm always thinking that I'm just practicing now because of you, and we could be on the beach, but we have to practice. Always the same, but we don't do it.
Yeah, being on the beach or playing the guitar. It's a difficult choice.
And maybe similar than before, the semester is finishing now, so there's a lot of exams and everything.
Yeah. No, it's the same here. Everything's just finished. Like the terms have ended. Is your teaching finished, Matt? Are you done?
Yes, my my last teaching happened last week. So that'll be it for me until September.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
3 weeks more.
Yeah.
3 weeks more. Then you're done. Nah.
Yeah,
And then you're free.
The semester breaks seem to be like really off between Ireland, the US, and us.
Yeah, you guys go longer. You go a lot longer, I think. But they have really big holidays here. You get almost 2 months off.
No,
maybe.
Us too.
Ah, okay.
Just like later.
Yeah. Nice.
A month later or something.
Nice. Very nice.
I feel a bit bad for not being part of an institution as a teacher. Now there are these conversations about the end of term times. I'm like, oh.
Move away from teaching. Move away from teaching. We're losing him.
The talent is leaving the sector. That's all you hear. That's all you hear. All the time. That phrase coming round and round and round and round. Oh my gosh. Well, folks, we've been on for a while, and I don't want to keep you all for too long, and I'm sure Matthew feels the same way, but I just want to say, I think on behalf of Matthew and myself, and I'm sure you'll speak a little bit too, Matt, but it's just been a pleasure to hear so many of you through the evening. We obviously had Matt Hensley join us, we had Kate Patello join us. We've had people on through the night and lots of people in the chat, and it's been a really great day for us. We've been hearing lots of people sending us messages about the album, which is great and very exciting. And we hope if you haven't heard it, you go out there and you listen to it now, or you check out Chick Corea Spain as well, because it's a lot of fun. And just, thank you all so much.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks to everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Declan. Thanks, Sebastian, Katrin, and Nico very much for joining us. And we'll see you all very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Anytime.
And enjoy the night.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
It's been
Bye for now.
See you guys.